This is Joshua Garcia, and today, for my final evaluation, I'm going to be doing the evaluation on the topic of dictatorships in Latin America. Now, in class, we spoke about it a little bit, I guess, but I'm going to be doing it on the dictatorship of Rafael Trujillo. Because I am from Dominican background myself, so I just thought it'd be nicer to do something from the Dominican Republic. So Rafael Trujillo was the dictatorship of Dominican Republic, and he has the nickname of being the Dominican Hitler because there wasn't basically much difference between what Hitler did and what Trujillo was doing. But not a lot of people know about Trujillo because it was a less large scale, but still a bad thing what he was doing. So, to start off, Rafael Trujillo was born on October 24th, 1891, and he was assassinated on May 30th of 1961. He was also nicknamed at the time El Jefe, so that name was just a big name at the time. He was basically a Dominican soldier who ended up ranking up all the way through the ranks to general, to the commander-in-chief of the military. And with that, he ended up just becoming a military dictator who ruled the Dominican Republic until the day he was assassinated from February 1930 to 1961. He, in total, had 31 years of power, and during his 31 years of power, the Dominicans refer to it as the Trujillo era, and it's one of the most gruesome eras in all time of the Dominican culture because of what Trujillo was doing. The big part of Trujillo's dictatorship was basically his massacre of the Haitians. This massacre, when he was massacring these Haitians, it's referred to a lot of time as the Parsley Massacre because basically what he would do is Trujillo would send his police force out to just look for the Dominicans. He would send his police to go look for the Haitians because he had something against Haitians, kind of like how Hitler had something against the Jews, and how Hitler would be like, he kind of like would mind wipe the people of Germany, saying, "Oh, these Jews are taking the jobs, they are making the economy worse, blah blah blah." Hitler was, Trujillo was doing the same thing to the Dominicans about the Haitians. He was sparking up this hate for the Haitians that wasn't needed, saying that they were taking the jobs, that why the country is not doing as well in the economy is because of the Haitians. And so, with that being the case, he would have this Parsley Massacre, and what this Parsley Massacre was he would tell his police force go out and look for anyone who's more blacker skin, which would be the Haitians, and then ask them to pronounce the word Berehit. And the Haitians, because in their native tongue, would have a hard time saying this word. So because of that, Berehit, which would basically means parsley in English, he would have those Haitians killed. And it's believed in this time that he was responsible for the death of about 50,000 Haitians with the Berehit massacre, it was about 20 to 30,000 killings off just saying a word, which is just highly irrational. So with that being the case, like his killings of the Haitians really sparked an outroar of the citizens, especially these three sisters that are now referred to as the Butterfly Sisters, because they're really the ones who spoke out against Trujillo. And with speaking out against Trujillo, they had this whole underground organization that would let people know, hey, Trujillo isn't really this person that he makes himself to be, and he's not a nice person. kind of like similarly to like how it was starting to get known by the Jews, like, hey, Hitler's killing everybody. So he was like, these sisters were really exposing Trujillo as this bad person. So Trujillo didn't really like that. And once Trujillo found out, who was like letting people know, like, hey, he's actually a lunatic, he went out searching for these three sisters with his police. And one day, these police stopped these three sisters, and they ended up beating them. And uh, when they beat them, they drove their car off a cliff, and so that it didn't look like Trujillo killed them. But clearly, the Dominicans didn't believe it, because the Dominicans knew that he didn't like those three butterfly sisters. So essentially, he got those sisters killed. And that even sparked more outrage. And, at the time, like, the Dominicans really knew, like, started to realize, like, oh, this Trujillo guy is a lunatic. And so did other countries start to notice it as well. And Trujillo also tried to assassinate the president of Venezuela, and that's really what got him killed. Because when he tried that, when the Venezuelan found out that he tried to assassinate the president of Venezuela, along with the United States and Venezuela, and also some of his own military strongmen went out and assassinated Trujillo, and that was the end of his rule. And so, basically, to sum it up, Trujillo was a big Haitian killer, and although he did raise the economy to the Dominicans, he just wasn't a nice person because of the killing of the Haitians, and that was the dictatorship of Rafael Trujillo.